in their quarterfinal with Jamaica. A pretty easy victory over the Jamaicans. So USA moving on in the CONCACAF Nations tournament and moving on to the semifinals.
Is that why you have your attire out this morning that you do? I see on your video stream.
Yep, it is. It was between that and the STL City jersey. They actually played in St. Louis last night, played at City Park. It's the first time that City Park has hosted a national event, and was excited to see the city of St. Louis shining brightly in the sports universe last night as the U.S. took on Jamaica. So yeah, that would be the reason for the USA jersey, and good matchup last night.
Yeah, you can watch us on the Facebook Live. We've got cameras set up in each one of our studios, and that's why I can tell what Tyson is wearing here this morning. Anyway, you can listen to it at all of our sites, our website at x-streamsports.com. Listen to us on your smartphone with our free mobile app, your smart speaker. We're on Roku TV. We're on Facebook Live now. We're on Twitch, and now we're available on YouTube. Just adding another little avenue that you can watch and listen to us each and every day here on Huddle Up. Different varieties of ways that you can listen to us here on Huddle Up. We mentioned the Dallas Cowboys game last night. They originally had planned to open AT&T Stadium's roof ahead of the game last night, but the plan was scrapped because a piece of metal fell to the field as the roof was opening more than 2 hours before kickoff. The Cowboys attributed high winds during the day on Monday to contributing to the piece of metal falling, and that the roof would remain closed for the Monday Night Football game. So they were going to open the roof last night, maybe change the fortunes for the Cowboys. It didn't happen because there was a malfunction in the roof. And evidently, the last time that the roof was open down there at AT&T Stadium was in 2022. They don't open it often. They opened the roof on October 30th of 2022 against the Chicago Bears, whom they beat that day by a score of 49-29. So maybe they were hoping to change the fortunes by opening up the roof last night. It didn't happen. That just kind of goes hand in hand with the way the football team is playing. They tried to open the roof, and a big old piece of metal came crashing down to the field. Fortunately, no one was on the field at the time. Like I said, it was 2 hours before kickoff, so nobody was on the field yet. No fans in the stadium, but yeah, that could have been dangerous there, as a piece of metal come falling down out of the roof.
I was watching a video on this, and I don't know if this is the reason, but I'm pretty sure it's got a lot to do with it. I don't know if it's the reason that they haven't opened it since 2022. I was watching a video on the stadium design, and when they do open the roof at AT&T, whoever designed it put it the wrong direction in terms of how it faces the sun. And so for one particular side, you are just staring into the blazing Texas sunlight. And they were showing all sorts of drops, passes, and blown coverages because they couldn't see. And when the receivers would turn around and look for the ball, they would just throw their hands up into the air because they're staring straight into the sun. So I don't know if that's the reason, but I'm pretty sure that it's got a little hand in hand to do with why they haven't opened that roof since 2022.
Well, with last night being a night game, they said, hey, this is a great opportunity maybe to enjoy the great Texas starlight, and they tried to do it, and not only did they fail on the field last night, they failed with their operations with AT&T Stadium. So I thought that was kind of neat.
World's smallest violin for Jerry Jones.
God. Let's see what else is going on in the NFL as long as we're on the subject. The New York Giants, they're benching Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback. Tommy DeVito. Who?
That's amazing.
Tommy DeVito is going to be the new starting quarterback for the Giants beginning this week. I think they play Tampa Bay. He's been the number 3 quarterback in the plucking chart there for the Giants behind Drew Lock and Daniel Jones, but they're sitting Jones for the rest of the year, and his time with the Giants is probably ending here. When you stick him on the bench and they become the third string quarterback, your days are probably numbered there for the New York Giants. He was He wasn't one of the top draft choices for the Giants a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And his career has not really taken off. They're also sitting him because he's got a injury guarantee. So if he is injured in the last couple of games and is unable to pass a physical in the offseason, he's guaranteed $23 million.
Oh, my.
So in addition to he's not really playing very well, they're going to sit Daniel Jones because of this injury guarantee that he's got in his contract. It's happened a couple of other times. The Denver Broncos did the same thing with Russell Wilson.
Yep.
He had a $37 million injury guarantee. The Raiders sat Jimmy Garoppolo the last couple of games. $11.25 million was his injury guarantee. So in addition to Daniel Jones not playing well, the team just decided to sit him to maybe save him some cash just in case something would happen to Jones in the final few games. But, heck, what is this, week 11? They still got, 6 games to go?
And they're rolling with, like, a guy that sounds like he worked his way up the quarterback depth chart through the mafia, like Tommy DeVito. Like, he strong-armed somebody to get the QB job over in New York. I love it. That's like just straight-up New York style, a name for a quarterback. If you were to imagine who's going to quarterback a New York team, Tommy DeVito. That's outstanding. Wasn't he like in the Four Seasons at one time? He was a Jersey boy, I think. Any hoodles. Also,
Sounds like he came maybe from an Italian restaurant.
That's what I'm saying. Like Don Corleone, and he's got a favor to ask of you. Can you go quarterback my New York Giants for you? Eric Williams has chimed in on the Dallas Cowboys sun situation, and he said the sun happens because of the gigantic windows that are in the end zone, not necessarily if the roof is up or down. So the gigantic windows in the end zones are the reason for the sun. They did not, again, construct that stadium very well. So there's that answer for you. Like, we're experts on nothing.
Yeah, not even in stadium construction.
Imagine that.
DeVito, by the way, getting back to him, he won 3 straight games last year as a surprise starter following injuries to Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. So they're going back to Danny DeVito. Run that through your fantasy football.
Tommy DeVito. Danny DeVito's an actor.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Tommy DeVito, Danny DeVito. Tommy DeVito. Yeah, go to your fantasy football rosters and your waiver wire. I bet you can find Tommy DeVito. He's available today, so if you'd like to pick him up and maybe needing some quarterback help on your fantasy team, Tommy DeVito, not Danny DeVito. Tommy DeVito is now available. He's going to play for the Giants this week.
That's outstanding. Don't need the quarterback help, by the way. We're rolling with Burrow. And
their season's about trash, too.
Oh, we might need it there. Ew.
Let's see. What else is
anyways
going on here? Again, the NFL, it was Dallas losing last night to the Texans. 34-10. Was the final score there. You're waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Got about 12 minutes after 7 o'clock. A couple of other things bubbling under the headlines we want to tell you about. Iowa's quarterback, Brendan Sullivan, is going to miss this week's game at Maryland and likely will miss the rest of the regular season, including a game against Nebraska because of an ankle injury. So Brendan Sullivan is out. Cade McNamara. Remember, does that ring a bell? Cade McNamara.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he opened the season of the past 2 years for the Hawkeyes and has been, he was hit with a concussion back in October, so he hasn't played. He had a knee injury the year before that and sat. But now Cade McNamara is going to be the starting quarterback for the Hawkeyes beginning this week's game with the Terrapins. Likely will be the starter against Nebraska next week. This Brendan Sullivan, he was a transfer from Northwestern, had 344 passing yards, couple of touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 144 rushing yards, 4 scores this season. So Iowa is going to be to their number 2 man on the depth chart as far as the quarterback is concerned. Actually, he he's the number 3 guy because he got another problem with sophomore Jackson Stratton. And he's the backup now. So Cade McNamara is going to be the number 1 quarterback for Iowa. Brendan Sullivan is on the bench likely for the rest of the season. So maybe some good vibes for the Huskers. We'll take anything
we can get at this point.
We'll take everything we can get.
Any potential edge heading into that Black Friday matchup, we'll definitely take.
I stumbled across something. I didn't really dive into it because I was right in the middle of my sports this morning. But they've now got Nebraska on the outside looking in as far as their bowl projections are concerned. Now they think we're not going to make a bowl game. So that means
I think they think that, or I should say that they're not alone in thinking that. As I talked with many people around Husker Nation yesterday, and we sort of went to the water cooler and armchair quarterbacked the results this past Saturday. I think that we all kind of came under a synopsis where we're going to need something real special to come up in the course of the next 2 weeks if we're going to go bowling. I did hear that Royola apparently decided to take to a microphone and during a press conference make a guarantee that we're going, which makes me check his receipts and look to see what he's done to get us there over the course of the past couple of weeks and say that's not very good. Yeah, get off the microphone and maybe stick to figuring out how you can complete a pass without underthrowing it, young man. But yeah, we're guaranteed. So let's go. Our freshman quarterback is guaranteeing. Let's ride.
That means we got to beat either Wisconsin this week or Iowa next week. Wisconsin has beaten us, what did I tell you yesterday, 10 times in a row?
It seems like it's been 84 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time ago. So, anyway, if you'd like to chime in, you can do so. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. You can chime in anytime with us. If you want to talk sports, go ahead. If you want to talk something else bugging you, like maybe the ladies in the grocery aisle looking at the bread for 20 minutes at a time.
Is this a story that's coming up here soon?
I don't know. Sometimes I just go to the grocery store and people are just standing in the bread aisle, just looking at the bread. And no, get the hell out of the way. It's bread. You want white, you want wheat. Throw the loaf of bread in the cart and get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
So I'm sure people have stories about when they go grocery shopping, especially maybe on Sundays when everybody is out. Get out of the way. I just want to get in and get out of the grocery store as fast as I can because I got other things to do on the honey list. I don't need Aunt Martha in the grocery aisle, in the bread aisle, looking at the wheat bread and the white bread. It's not going to move. No, the bread is not going to move off of the shelf and hop into your cart. You've got to actually pick up the bread and put it in the grocery cart.
Go around Aunt Martha. Go around.
Well, she can't because she parks her cart right in the middle of the aisle. Yeah,
oh, that's the worst. That is the worst.
And then they're down the road a little bit, looking at the white bread or the wheat bread.
I moved their carts.
She's got her cart right out in the middle, and then you've got another cart maybe that's maybe stocking shelves, and you can't get through, so you got to wait for Aunt Martha to make her choice on the bread.
Oh, no. No, you hop out from behind your cart, you move their cart out of the way, and then you proceed to go down the aisle, and then they look at you, and then like you have committed some sort of felony. They turn around and look at you, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I'm like, "Yep, thanks."
No,
I don't even do the Midwestern apology. I'm just like, thanks for admitting you're sorry for leaving your cart out in the middle of my way. The worst line story, and it's every time, and it's always when you're running late. But it's always when you're running late and you realize that you have no gas left in the car, so you go fill up, and you go to prepay, and there's the lottery ticket guy, and everybody knows who the lottery ticket guy is. The guy that will stand there at a gas station. I'll have 4 number 1s, 2 number 6s. How much does that leave me with? Oh, so I can have 1. Okay, so take the 2 6. No. You get your lottery tickets and get the hell out of my way, man. I'm late.
And then they got a whole pocket full of tickets they want to cash in and see if they're winners.
And change.
Yeah, change.
Go to the store
Yeah,
before 9 a.m. Nobody's there, says Shane.
yeah. I've been behind. I've been behind those people before.
Lottery ticket guy.
Anyway, chime in if you'd like. You can leave us a message on the Facebook Live. Always like to have you a part of our show here today. Mike Will, Tyson, or Bryce. It's already 7:18 on this Tuesday morning. We've talked about virtually nothing so far. No, we've gotten through 18 minutes.
Yeah,
of the
we
show.
brought up the Cowboys and the Giants, so that tracks.
Yeah,
we talked about nothing.
We've talked about absolutely nothing so far, but we got a lot more yet to come, I guarantee you. 7:19 as we head to our first news update here this morning.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you in part by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union is proud to be your trusted, long-term financial partner. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join, and joining the credit union is as simple as opening a primary savings account. With a convenient drive-up, a 24-hour ATM, and a friendly staff who knows each member by name, why would you go anywhere else? Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online at hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union, an equal housing lender. We start with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, where they're asking hunters and landowners for feedback this winter, with meetings across the state throughout December and January. A press release has stated that attendees will have the chance to ask questions about diseases, permits, and other big game management topics. The meetings will be 2.5 hours long and start promptly at 6:30. A full schedule can be found on the Game and Parks website. Yesterday, the Nebraska Department of Transportation and Nebraska State Patrol held a ceremony to honor emergency responders as part of Crash Responder Safety Week. Crash Responder Safety Week is a national initiative sponsored by the Federal Highway Administration. The campaign emphasizes drivers' responsibility to protect those who protect you by promoting simple safety practices that keep emergency responders out of harm's way on the road. Earlier this month, Governor Pillen signed a proclamation declaring National Crash Responder Safety Week, highlighting the essential role that crash responders play in swiftly and effectively managing and clearing traffic incidents. Last week, the Nebraska State Patrol Bomb Squad responded to a report of numerous World War II-era munitions that were located at a home in Beatrice. The Beatrice Police Department reported the munitions after the resident of the home had passed away. There were approximately 40 shells located inside the home, but after careful examination by the bomb squad, none of the shells were determined to be live. It's 7:21. We'll swing things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's happening in sports?
No changes in the AV. Ranked number 1, followed by Nebraska, Louisville, Penn State, and Creighton. Rounding out the top 10 are Wisconsin, Stanford, Purdue, Arizona State, and SMU. Nebraska Kearney is up one spot to number 3 in the AVCA Division II poll. Ferris State is ranked number 1. Bergen Riley of Nebraska has been named the Setter of the Week in the Big Ten Conference. It's the 4th time this season and the 8th time in her career that Riley has been honored. She had 40 assists and career highs of 20 digs and 6 kills in a win over Minnesota last week. She capped the weekend with 35 assists and 7 digs and a sweep of Indiana. The Nebraska women's basketball team will play host to North Alabama tonight at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Huskers are 4-0 in the season after Saturday's 113-70 win over South Dakota. The Lions are 2-2 following an 81-64 road loss at Kansas on Sunday. Tip-off for the game tonight will be at 7. Qualifiers have been announced for the NAIA National Volleyball Tournament. Hastings College did not hear their name called yesterday, so the Broncos end their season at 15-12. They were 8-8 in a conference. 4 teams from the GPAC will play in the national tournament: Concordia, Midland, Morningside, and Northwestern. Hastings College women's soccer coach Jade Ovendahl has been named the GPAC Coach of the Year. She guided the Broncos to the regular season and tournament championship this year. Hastings will play in the NAIA National Tournament opening round beginning on Thursday. Megan Lampy was named the Defensive Player of the Year, and 3 other players were named to the All-Conference First Team: Dakota Schubert, Dulcie Lopez, and Millie Dell. Tim Berger and Joe Bokens were named the men's soccer all-conference first team for the Broncos. Kansas ranked number 1 in the latest AP men's college basketball poll. UConn is second, followed by Gonzaga, Auburn, and Iowa State. Rounding out the top 10 are Purdue, Houston, Alabama, Kentucky, and North Carolina. Creighton is in at number 14. And Nebraska is number 21 in the women's poll. The top 5 teams are South Carolina, UConn, USC, Texas, and UCLA. That's an update on your sports headlines here on Extreme Sports. It is 7:24.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Those soggy conditions have moved out, and they'll leave us with plenty of sunshine this week, but cooler and breezy conditions. Hey everybody, Tim Jones here. Looks like we had just under an inch here in Hastings of rainfall. Today we're 48 degrees, mostly sunny skies, west-northwest winds gusting to 30 miles per hour. 29 is the overnight low tonight. Wednesday, we're breezy once again, gusts up to the mid-30s, 48 degrees, and then we have plenty of sunshine the rest of the week with highs in the 30s.
As you wake up and get going this morning, we've got west-northwest winds already at 15, gusting to 31. It's a partly cloudy 38 in Hastings from Extreme Sports.
This holiday season, take control of your health and give the gift of wellness at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. From November, relaxing head spa scalp treatments and luxurious Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing benefits of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Looking for an extra special gift? Our gift certificates are the perfect way to share the gift of wellness. Plus, become a member and enjoy 24-hour access to our exclusive therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members also save 20% on all services and 10% on products from our non-toxic retail shop. Give the gift of health, peace. Enjoy this holiday season only at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center.
And we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
Good morning. You are listening to Huddle Up with Mike Will, Tyson Havronik for this Tuesday morning. Again, whether you're listening on our website, on your smartphone, on your smart speaker, on Roku TV, on Facebook Live, on Twitch, or on YouTube, thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. We got a lot to talk about with Matt Rule. Sure. He had his press conference yesterday in Lincoln, but one thing came up right at the end, and he spent a lot of time on this. Evidently, there's a new legislation requiring college football rosters to get down to 105 players next year. Nebraska right now carries like 150 to 155 players on their roster. They've got to get down to 105 players next year. That means, in addition to all the seniors that will be celebrated this week for a Seniors Day, there's going to be a lot of guys that are down on the roster, maybe some walk-on guys that will not be part of the roster for 2025 because of the new legislation. This is virtually going to eliminate the Huskers walk-on program. down in Lincoln, because we got to be at 105 players at the start of the season next year. That's all we can carry. And like we said, we're at 150 now, so there's going to be 35, 40 guys that'll probably have to find new places to play next season.
Yeah, and I mean, virtually eliminating walk-on programs for any college, I guess, as you look at that. Now, is this a situation where, and I'm just learning about this now for the first time. I haven't actually done any research on it or reading upon it. Is this a situation where you have to be at 105 by a certain date, so that you can, as a walk-on, try to work yourself onto the roster, or how does that all work? Is it like 105 right?
Yeah, from the very beginning of the season, the way the coach talked about it yesterday. In fact, he talked about it yesterday. We'll hear from Matt Rule.
And, like, you have some players probably who are like, I'm not touching the ball enough, or I'm unhappy. And they're like, I'm going to go in the portal. And you think about the effect that's about to happen. The portal's already flooded. So we have 150, and we need to go to 105. That's 45 guys. Now, I know some seniors, but we'll add some guys. Just think about 20 to 30 guys from every school having to go into the portal, and the effect it's going to have on FCS, and then on Division II, and then on NAIA and Division III. It's going to be, so to your point, when Marquise and Jamari say, hey, we want to come back, that's 2 more people now that can't be here next year. And so it's going to be really, not just unique. I sometimes say unique. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. And then, so what do? Do you not tell kids until next fall, oh, you're not a spot in the 105? The portal, I can't imagine what it's going to look like this year. It's going to be overrun, and it's going to be overrun with lots of really good kids. And so lots of really good kids we have some kids on our team that all they want to do is just go out and just be a Husker and practice and help the team. And, I've talked a lot about the guys who've, they've done all these different things here. There's a lot of guys that are going to walk on senior day that, man, like some of them are going to change the world, So is Grant Buda walking? And 3.9 student, made his way into camp because of the work he did this summer, made the elite list every week. He's going to be a doctor, wants to be an NFL orthopedic surgeon. In the future, that kid won't be able to be here, or I'll have to tell that kid, hey, you can't be here anymore. That's, for a guy that's wired like me, that's absolutely heartbreaking. It is what it is. We deal with it, but yeah, and it's impending. The reason why I sound like this, Mitch, is it's impending. It's not, next fall the roster limit's 105. Troy's asked all of us to be honest with everybody so that they can find a place. But you're going to have some really good kids and they're not going to have a place. And it's going to be really, really, really hard.
So anyway, that's what came up at the end of the press conference yesterday. After we talked about everything else, he kind of threw that upon us. 105 players beginning next year. So in addition to the 29 or 30 seniors that will be honored for Seniors Day this week for Nebraska and Wisconsin, there's going to be a lot of guys further down on the depth chart that might be playing their final game for the Huskers this week as well.
105. I mean, imagine if you, for instance, you're at UTSA, right? And you're a pretty damn good athlete, and you make the 105, and you're like, okay, well, we're safe. And then next thing you know, well, here's a guy from LSU that gets shown the door because he didn't make the 105, and next thing you know, he's in the transfer portal, and all of a sudden, your spot at UTSA, it's got that trickle-down effect like he's talking about. This is a mess. And the transfer portal is already a mess anyways, and now you have a cap on the roster. This whole college football universe is just a blender right now. And there's one thing that, as much crap as I give coaches for their execution sometimes on game day, the one thing that I will say that there's no way in hell that I would want a Division I coaching job right now is to try to navigate that transfer portal. You're basically recruiting kids during the season just to stay a Husker, and work through this program. So yeah, this turbulence is going to continue. Got to figure out how to get a handle on this, man, because this trickle down effect is going to go all the way down to the very the smallest level that we see here locally. So it'd be very, very interesting to see this progress as it moves forward. But yeah, Rule's exactly right. I mean, that's heartbreaking that you got to do that to some of those guys and have to have those conversations. I appreciate the fact that we're doing it right, and we're letting people have a very honest assessment at an early stage so that they can lock in the best possible landing spot for themselves. But not every university is going to play like that and do that, and then they'll wait till cut day.
Well, just imagine, like you said, 25, 30 players going to have to enter the portal for Nebraska. If every university, the major ones, the Power 5 teams, if they drop 35 to 40 players into the portal, that's going to be out of control, like you said.
You can make your own school. You can make two brand new college football teams just with transfer portal athletes, and then you can throw them in the Mountain West or the Pac-12 or Pac-2. Whatever.
You like that Mountain West, don't you?
Oh, anytime I get to talk about the Mountain West or Pac-2 or whatever the heck it is, I always take an advantage. Before we get to more rule cuts, I wanted to bring this up because I'm going to make a bold statement here on the show. Shocker. Ryan Martin is keeping us up to date on the Rock Chalk Jayhawk college football team. They're on a mission, he says, to be the Big 12 spoiler. They've knocked off Iowa State. Last week they took down BYU, which was pretty predictable considering how BYU basically skated into that matchup with Utah and got through by the skin of their teeth. But any hoodles. So they've knocked off Iowa State. They've knocked off BYU. Up next, it's Colorado. And then to try to get to bowl eligibility with a win over Baylor. And I will say this. Kansas has a better shot and a better path to bowl eligibility than Nebraska does. They've got to get 2. We got to get 1. Kansas has got a better path.
Wow. Can they beat Colorado?
Can they beat Colorado? Yes.
Do you think they can?
I think they can.
Kansas can beat Colorado? I don't see that happening.
We got a chatbot.
I don't see that happening.
Oh, okay.
Well, what are you doing?
I was reading the Facebook comments. Apparently there's a chatbot that is hanging out with us.
What's a chatbot?
A chatbot, AI. Shane's on it. Our IT man's on it. Little chatbot hanging out.
That's all right. That's all right. Anyway, if you'd like to leave us a message, you can. If you'd like to give us a call, 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. If you'd like to join us today. We're talking about college football. UMass has fired their head coach, Don Brown, ending his second stint with the team and his third overall. He's been the head coach twice. He's been the defensive coordinator once, and now they've given him the axe. With 2 games left to play this season, Brown went 6-28 at UMass over the past 2+ seasons. He went 43-19 there as he was a head coach from 2004 to 2008, reaching an FCS national championship game and a national quarterfinal. He grew up in the state, served as the defensive coordinator from 98 to 99. But again, Don Brown has been fired as the head coach at UMass. So a couple of other things that are bubbling under the headlines here today.
Yeah.
What else we got going? Matt Rule?
We were going to get to the rest of the Husker cuts?
Yeah, we're going to talk about what Matt had to say yesterday in his press conference. Again, Wisconsin fired their offensive coordinator on Sunday. So when the Huskers play the Badgers this Saturday, they're going to be facing a new offensive coordinator or a combination of coaches calling the offensive plays for the Badgers. And the coach says that's throwing a curveball into the Huskers' preparation for this week.
It's definitely one, right? I mean, it's. I thought last year, Phil Longo had the best game plan against our defense of anyone that we faced. And so sometimes we refer to it. I'll say hey, it's the Wisconsin game plan when people do elements of it, some things they did last year. And so with him being gone, you don't know exactly what you're going to see, right? I mean, obviously, Coach Fickell's a great head coach. They're going to play great defense. They want to run the football. They want to take shots down the field. We kind of have a general idea of who they are and what they do, but you have a whole other element now that you have to prepare for. So I think best thing we can do is just focus on ourselves and try to fix some of the issues we had last week that prevented us from winning.
And the coach says both Nebraska and Wisconsin are in about the same position as they were a year ago.
Both 5-5, trying to win one more game. They beat us last year in overtime. They won another game, got a chance to go to a bowl game. I know it's a lot of years for them going to a bowl game in a row. I 100% believe in the impact that has on your program and your development over time. So we're right back in the same spot, with a chance for us to hopefully us win the game and then extend the season and watch the development for our young players. But other than that, I mean, Coach took over that job. He's trying to get them to break through. We are where we are right now. We're trying to get ourselves to break through. It's not happened yet for us. It can be frustrating, but also energizing in that I do feel like we're at the point where we could. we're getting closer to getting to that point. So instead of taking a big picture look, I just try to narrow my focus down and just keep chopping and hitting at the same spot.
And again, this week will be a Seniors Day, as a bunch of seniors will be playing their last home game. In fact, some 30 seniors will walk on the Seniors Day, including some sixth-year guys for the Huskers.
Yeah, you think about on offense, Bryce Benhart, Ramir Johnson, Javen Wright, John Bullock, and Ty Robinson, and all the different journeys that they've taken. And so you think about there's a lot of fifth-year seniors, guys, guys at Gifford who decided to come back, other guys who transferred in. So I certainly would love to end their career not just with a win, but with them being the ones who break through. There's a big difference. Not getting a win, but hey, make the plays. We absolutely could have won the game last week, but the shoulda, woulda, coulda gets you nowhere. You got to go do it. So I want them to be able to walk off the field with their heads held high, knowing that they got it done. And I expect everyone in our program, every coach, every player, to throw everything they have to help our seniors go make that happen. And but I don't want to underestimate the impact of seeing it happen. Like Jamari and Marquise, before I came here, Jamari Butler and Marquise Buford asked me if they could come back for another year. And the fact that they want to stay in the program, to me, is that's great. But I think they see what happened to Ty. They see the acceleration of his career and want to do the same thing. So I couldn't be more grateful to those guys who did come back and what they've shown to the younger players.
The Huskers rushed for 119 yards in the ball game last week against USC, and the coach was asked about the rushing attack in the press conference yesterday.
Yeah, you think about on offense, Bryce Benhart. I thought it was the offensive line's best game of the year. I thought they blocked really, really, really well. I thought we had some nice runs. I also thought we left a ton of yards out there. We had a couple times we got the ball to the safety and got tackled. A couple times we kind of missed the hole, so I thought the guys played hard. But I thought we left a lot out there, and we could have run the ball for a lot more yards than what we got. The 20-yard gain could have been 80. Just a block here. So there's definitely was some improvement, but there needs to be more.
Again, we're talking about the Wisconsin offensive coordinator position is going to be different this week. The coach says despite the coaching change, he expects Wisconsin to stay the course in the ball game against the Huskers.
I think it's probably a lot like us last week. Like, you probably can't change the core plays of what you do, and they've probably all been collaborating them all year long. So I think you have to get into the game and recognize sort of, hey, here's how they're calling it today. They've got one of the best wideouts in the Big Ten in Pauling. I know he went down in the last game. I don't know his status. Locke's done a really nice job for them. They've got big, powerful backs and a great O-line. And so at the end of the day, for us, when we stop the run on defense, we play pretty well. When we don't give up big plays, we play pretty well. You go back to Ohio State this past game, when you're facing skill guys like those teams have, going back to Sam's question, just one simple mistake in the secondary can result in a big play. When you're facing teams that aren't as talented, maybe you come off and you make a tackle for a 20-yard gain. Wisconsin's got skill. They've got guys on the outside who can run. So we'll have to eliminate the big plays, try to stop the run, try to contain the quarterback, and just kind of get into the game and see how they're playing. We were a little bit more this past game offensively, a little bit more probably getting the ball out of our hand a little quicker. So that was our change. We'll see what their change is.
Again, 2:30 kickoff on Saturday at Memorial Stadium. The Huskers and Wisconsin, you'll be able to see it on the Big Ten Network. So those are the highlights out of the coaches' press conference yesterday. Today, we are expected to hear from the two coordinators. So we'll hear from Dana Holgerson, the new offensive coordinator for the Huskers, and see what he's got to say here this week.
All right. Well, that's yeah. I was actually just checking out some of the new features that the IT man has been working on behind the scenes here, and with the YouTube channel and the comments that go out via Facebook, the comments that can be left on Twitch, the comments that can be left on YouTube. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you just get everybody in on the conversation. So we've actually had someone chime in from our Twitch. ECW0126, saying we're getting pretty close to Extreme Sports Diocho, which that was launched during our Channel 3 promotion that we are excited to get up and operational. And he's also chimed in on the transfer portal and the 105 limit, saying it will make the lower levels of college sports even more competitive. However, the old saying, if you want to play at the next level, you can always have a spot there, will be no more. Again, trying to keep on, getting to that next level, being at the best college, putting yourself in the best case scenario to play professional football on Sundays. Now you got to basically make that roster cut at that 105 limit to keep that draft stock in status. So there you go.
All right, we're getting comments from everybody, huh?
Comments from all over the place.
I like that.
Yeah, and you can monitor, if you want to check out our new YouTube channel that's up and operational, and that will save all of our streams. So that's just X-Stream Sports, much like you find us here on Facebook. Now launching on YouTube. We're up and rolling, so literally adding to the long, long list of places you can find, watch, listen to Extreme Sports. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe there on the YouTube channel, so that way you're always notified when we are live, when we have new content to post. Keep up to date on everything Extreme Sports. Give us that subscription, give us that like, and we'll love you for it.
Yeah, like our page on the Facebook, too, because we're nearing 1,000 now. Nearing 8,000. We'd like to go over that by Thanksgiving. We could sit and we could toast to 1,000 during our Thanksgiving break.
Pretty sure if you added up the YouTube subscriptions, our Twitch follows, those who have downloaded the app and listen that way, we're probably over that 1,000 plateau. But yeah, up on Facebook, we're knocking on the door to 1,000, and we'll throw a little party.
Give us a reason to party, we'll do it.
Listen, I mean, it's a day that ends in Y, man. That's normally my excuse to party, but if we get to 1,000, we'll definitely throw one.
All right. You did a lot of Hastings College soccer this season, and Jade Ubendahl has been named the GPAC Coach of the Year. They got Megan Lampy on as the Defensive Player of the Year. 3 other players named to the All-Conference First Team. So the Broncos playing in the opening round of the NAIA National Tournament on Thursday in Kentucky, but they get some hardware for the 2024 season. Good job by the Hastings College women's soccer team.
Yeah, I did see that on the women's side, and then the men earning some honors as well. But yeah, I mean, you take a look at just how dominant that defensive backfield was. Obviously, Dakota Schubert was great as that central attacking midfielder, and every opportunity that she created for that women's soccer team, and just in terms of constantly being a scoring threat. But the MVPs, especially late in the season, in the postseason, was definitely that defensive back four. Megan Lampy, tremendous defender, but also just a great placer of the ball through the air. On free kicks, she is a free kick specialist, gets the ball into the box, puts the right curve on it, always seems to find an open head for some goals. So she has just been dominant in terms of the assists this season in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. So pretty easy choice there for some GPAC honors, GPAC hardware. And obviously when you see the work that Coach Ovendale has done in going back-to-back in the Great Plains Athletic Conference, that's hard. Back-to-back is hard, because the minute that you win that GPAC championship, the minute you hoist that hardware, everybody in the conference immediately puts that bullseye on you for next year. And so to be able to do that, go back-to-back with enduring graduations and enduring the injuries that they had to overcome. They had faced early adversity. They go down 2 goaltenders at the early part of the season, bring in a freshman in Tatiana Villasenor, and were able to work her up to speed. And again, a lot of that because of the defensive back four basically creating a fortress and a wall that they could not, that opponents could not penetrate and even get to Tatiana. But yeah, it was pretty clear that those postseason honors would go for the way of the Broncos. So good to see them picking up that. And then on the men's side of things, from Joe and Timmy, seeing those earned conference honors was great to see, and the run that the Bronco men made just in the conference tournament just to get an opportunity to play in the national stage. That'll be exciting for them moving forward. So the soccer program at Hastings College continuing with their high standards of success and excellence, and that very, very evident in terms of the hardware they're bringing home, not only in the course of play in the regular season, but individually as well.
So the national tournament for both the men and women will begin on Thursday. Not so good news for the volleyball team. Tyson, you did many matches with the Bronco volleyball team this year. They were going to be on the bubble for selection, maybe as an at-large team to the NAIA national tournament. They lost to Northwestern in the semifinals of the conference tournament. They were sitting at 15-12 in the season, 8-8 in the conference, and they did not hear their name called yesterday for the NAIA National Volleyball Tournament field, so their season is over. 4 teams from the GPAC will play in the tournament: Concordia, Midland, Morningside, and Northwestern. But I think Hastings is one of the first or the second teams out, according to the people I talked to, the first or second team out. So they're not in the national tournament for the season.
Yeah, and you look back at the course of the Hastings College volleyball season, and they gave us plenty of exciting moments, and not a one of them were they sat and they weren't very competitive. The one thing I could say about that HC volleyball team is I would have taken it against any of those teams that turn it, that made it into the national tournament, because they played very competitive. You even said, watching them in that matchup against Northwestern, that at no point was HC out of the matchup. They were just 1 or 2 points behind Northwestern and couldn't get over that hump. You take one of those top 25 matchups and flip it to a W, and I think HC's in the dance. That they just couldn't get over the hump against the top 25 competition, and one of the first 2 schools out, and all told though, still in my estimate from this vantage point, getting eyeballs on the volleyball team for the first time this season from the broadcast perspective. I was impressed with what they have, and I'm impressed with what they have moving forward. Again, they were very balanced in terms of some senior leaders and some young freshmen that stepped up and played some big time moments for them. And I think those young freshmen, hopefully they will stay the course with the HC Broncos and only continue to improve, but there is some definite positive momentum for HC moving forward. But what can you say about that senior class, Miriam Miller, with the career digs record that she had? She will be graduating, and then Majestic Velocity from the outside, and Daisy Seeley, homegrown product right here in Hastings, and just several good names. Caitlin Thiebaugh going to be graduating early, so couldn't be more proud of those seniors and what they contributed and put into the program. But excited moving forward for sure for this HC volleyball program.
All right, you're listening to Mike and Tyson. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. It is now 7:52.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you in part by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where since 1946, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been a part of the Hastings community, and it's community that is at the heart of everything they do. You can access your accounts wherever you go with mobile banking, bringing you financial peace of mind straight from the palm of your hand. Securely and conveniently manage your accounts and loans at any time, from anywhere. Transfer funds, deposit checks, pay bills with bill pay, and quickly access your account balances to help cover whatever little curveballs life throws your way with mobile banking today. It's one of the many ways you can experience the credit union difference. Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online at hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. Starting off this morning with the Nebraska Department of Transportation and Nebraska State Patrol holding a ceremony yesterday to honor emergency responders as part of Crash Responder Safety Week. Crash Responder Safety Week is a national initiative sponsored by the Federal Highway Administration, the campaign emphasizing drivers' responsibility to protect those who protect you. by promoting simple safety practices that keep emergency responders out of harm's way on the road. Earlier this month, Governor Pillen signed a proclamation declaring National Crash Responder Safety Week, highlighting the essential role that crash responders play in swiftly and effectively managing and clearing traffic incidents. The Nebraska Game and Parks Commission is asking hunters and landowners for feedback this winter with meetings across the state throughout December and January. A press release from the Game and Parks Commission stated attendees will have the chance to ask questions about diseases, permits, and other big game management topics. The meetings will be 2.5 hours long and start promptly at 6:30. Full schedule can be found on the Game and Parks website. And last week, the Nebraska State Patrol Bomb Squad responded to a report of numerous World War II-era munitions that were located at a home in Beatrice. The Beatrice Police Department reported the munitions after the resident of the home had passed away. There were approximately 40 shells located inside the home, and after careful examination by the bomb squad, none of those shells were determined to be live. It's 7:54. We'll swing things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports?
No changes in the latest ABCA coaches poll. Pittsburgh is still ranked number 1, followed by Nebraska, Louisville, Penn State, and Creighton. Rounding out the top 10 are Wisconsin, Stanford, Purdue, Arizona State, and SMU. Nebraska Kearney is up 1 spot to number 3 in the ABCA Division II poll. Ferris State is ranked number 1. Kansas is ranked number 1 in the latest AP Men's College Basketball poll. UConn is second, followed by Gonzaga, Auburn, and Iowa State. Rounding out the top 10 are Purdue, Houston, Alabama, Kentucky, and North Carolina. Creighton is in at number 14. And Nebraska is number 21 in the women's poll. Top 5 teams there are South Carolina, UConn, USC, Texas, and UCLA. Bergen Riley of Nebraska has been named the Center of the Week in the Big Ten Conference. It's the 4th time this season and the 8th time in her career that Riley has been honored. She had 40 assists and career highs of 20 digs and 6 kills in a win over Minnesota last week. She capped the weekend with 35 assists and 7 digs in a sweep of Indiana. The Nebraska women's basketball team will play host to North Alabama tonight at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Huskers are 4-0 in the season after Saturday's 113-70 win over South Dakota. The Lions are 2-2 following an 81-64 road loss at Kansas on Sunday. Tip-off for the game will be at 7. And Hastings College women's soccer coach Jade Avondale has been named the GPAC Coach of the Year. She guided the Broncos to the regular season and tournament championship this year. Hastings will play in the NAIA National Tournament opening round on Thursday. Megan Lampy was named the Defensive Player of the Year. 3 other players named to the All-Conference First Team. They are Dakota Schubert, Dulce Lopez, and Millie Gell. And Tim Berger and Joe Bokens were named to the Men's Soccer All-Conference First Team for the Broncos. NFL stuff last night. The Texans beat the Cowboys by the score of 34-10.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Those soggy conditions have moved out, and they'll leave us with plenty of sunshine this week, but cooler and breezy conditions. Hey everybody, Tim Jones here. Looks like we had just under an inch here in Hastings of rainfall. Today we're 48 degrees, mostly sunny skies, west-northwest winds gusting to 30 miles per hour. 29 is the overnight low tonight. Wednesday, we're breezy once again, gusts up to the mid-30s, 48 degrees, and then we have plenty of sunshine the rest of the week with highs in the 30s.
Right now, west-northwest winds at 15 with some gusts at 31. It's partly cloudy, and it's 38 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydromassage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Urvonic, huddle up here for this Tuesday. Again, busy week. We've got college basketball coming your way on Saturday. We'll be in Sioux City for Hastings College and Briar Cliff. Women's, men's basketball doubleheader. Women's game will be at 2. Guys will go at 3:45 on the air. Pregame at about 1:45 on Saturday. Then on Monday, we've got the Class D1 State High School Football Championship from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln as Sandy Creek will take on Stanton. That'll be a 2:45 start on the air with a pregame at about 2:30 on Monday. So a little basketball for you on Saturday. Some football action coming up on Monday as we kind of put the final curtain down on the high school football season. But a good game coming up on Monday with the Cougars taking on Stanton.
Yeah, finishing touches on the fall side of things. And before we hit the door, I wanted to get you a quad box, if you will, for tonight. TV viewing, the beauty of the sports equinox coming together, and an opportunity to catch several good games in action. Let's first of all start off on the ice, where I know so many of you are big NHL fans around here.
No.
But the St. Louis Blues are taking on the Minnesota Wild. That is a 7 o'clock start, available on ESPN Plus and Hulu. And from there, you can get a great college basketball game. Obviously, I know that the majority of Jayhawk fans are going to rock chalk with the Jayhawks tonight against UNC Wilmington. But a big-time matchup coming up with the Big Ten and the Big East on FS1. Top 15 battle, Purdue and Marquette. Will square off at 8 o'clock tonight. Of course, the Nebraska women in action against North Alabama. That is 7 o'clock start on BTN Plus, which I don't get, but whatever. And then you could go to the NBA. The undefeated Cleveland Cavaliers, probably their biggest test tonight, on the road at TD Gardens, taking on the Boston Celtics, where the Celtics come in as 5-point favorites, Mike Will.
Wow.
Vegas is saying the undefeated streak ends tonight.
All right, so there's a lot of TV viewing. Is that what you're insinuating
I'm
on
saying
the show?
you have plenty of options
So
tonight.
you're going to plop your butt on the couch and have a quad box of entertainment for you?
Same thing I do every night, Mike Will. Plop butt on couch, turn TV to sports, and watch sports.
Another interesting night planned for you. Anyway, we'll get together, and you can recap all that stuff tomorrow morning.
Oh, more than happy to.
Yeah. Well, we'll get back together again at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining us here on Extreme Sports. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.
I don't think they played very well. I think it goes back to they're not a good team. I think Coach Belichick, when he was on the Manning cast last night, explained it really well. They're